So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Steven Gerrard has been sacked as Aston Villa football club manager with immediate effect. News has come from the club, Aston Villa, that is, and I'm just checking again here to make sure I haven't been duped. No, it is from Aston Villa Football Club. Aston Villa Football Club can confirm the head coach, Steven Gerrard, has left the club with immediate effect. Now, we're not going to sit here, and I certainly am not going to sit here and dance all over a fella as he's been sacked, but we can all agree that this is the right decision, I think, for Aston Villa at this moment in time. It seems that word has come out that Sawiris and Purslow had left the director's box, and it seems that they were waiting in the tunnel for him to give him the curly finger to come over and have a little chat. And it seems that has been what has happened. So Steven Gerrard is out the door on a Thursday night at 10:49, and he will be leaving London, not as manager of Aston Villa Football Club. So, look, Paddy alluded to it, I suppose, there as well before we finish the podcast about the Nassif Sawiris and Johan Lange and all the crowd. Paddy, look at that. Paddy puts his Villa gear back on again, just like that. I presume see Paddy's Villa pajamas.
I had to cover up my pajamas.
You have to cover up your pajamas, is right.
Neil,
yes.
Before I say anything else, I hope you got the full sound effect. Cheers.
I was just saying there, I was just about to have a can myself as well, but I said that I'm not going to dance all over a fella as he's been sacked. Look, the club have come to the right decision. It's something that the club needed to do. And I can wholeheartedly say that I have gone from feeling despondent literally 4.5 minutes ago to kind of now looking forward to going, who are Villa going to get? This might mean that they announce somebody before Saturday, but no, just my luck, they'll announce somebody on Saturday, the one day that I won't be able to get near my phone. But yeah, look, there's a ton of comments here, and this is going to be very much led by you guys, but I do want people to be respectful. Look, it's late at night and stuff like that. He's no longer Aston Villa manager. The club have made the decision we all wanted to make. I'm not saying that you have to eulogize him in the way that we make him a better manager than he was. That is not what we are going to do. But I will be reading our comments. Please keep them respectful. I won't read out anything that has a swear word in it. Put it that way. Leave the swearing to us. Leave the liable to us.
let's keep it grounded too, right? You're talking about a man that's been sacked, right? Yeah. I've been made redundant a couple of times in my life. It is not nice. But I have not been made redundant with the kind of money that Steven Gerrard has in the bank.
Oh, yeah.
He has done a pretty abysmal job. Feel free to open your hearts and tell us what you actually think, because that's what we're here for. And anyone that listens to me talk about it, I tell you what I actually think. I don't hold back. So, fans, this is led by you. Anyone that wants to speak there in the comments, let them speak, Neil, because we remember the one thing that came out of Project Restart and all that, and we've brought it up many times. Jurgen Klopp said that football was the most important thing of the least important things.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is to me. So if somebody wants to say something, we listen.
Oh, 100%.
So sometimes you don't listen to me, sometimes you keep going and then you actually say what I was going to say and stuff like that. But tonight of all nights, let the people have their say, because it's important. People have been hurt throughout this whole season. We've been waiting for it. I'm glad I don't have to wait till tomorrow. I'm actually glad I'm going on Sunday.
Yeah. No, exactly. Isn't that's a turnaround? Sorry there, guys. I am just Paddy, keep on going.
Yeah, so look, we can look forward now. We can get the heads up. We can get behind whoever the interim manager probably will be on Sunday. And look, I don't think we owe Steven Gerrard anything. He's been very wishy-washy with me. I just never warmed to him. I never thought he was the man for the job. Going out and watching Rangers and Liverpool when our under-20s were playing, I thought was a poor thing to do only a week ago. So we'll never have the backing of me or any happy memories other than the fact of the weekend that myself, yourself, Noel Connaughton and Ronan Ward and my sober son had the greatest weekend ever in May, and that's probably the highlight for me of the Gerrard era. There's nothing else.
I can still hear you, Paddy. Keep talking. I'm just going to get in a can.
I can assure you that Neil has a fridge in his den there, so he's not gone too far.
No.
What I love about this one is 3-engine RBO says Austin McPhee will be the interim. Well,
bring back Steven Gerrard. Bring back Steven Gerrard, quick.
compared to everybody else on the bench, he seems to say the most. I don't know what he's fucking saying, but he says the most. Yeah. So, but look, there's certain people in that group. Above all, Neil Cutler. Absolutely adore Neil Cutler. I just think of all the people I'd like to save, he's the one I'd like to save. I couldn't really give a shiny shite about anyone else. But Neil Cutler, I hope he's listening, and I hope he knows he has the backing of me for sure, and I'm sure he has of you too. It's funny because we got off the podcast probably about 10 seconds too soon. I'm sure you'll agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got a text message to say, that's it, he's gone. And
in fairness, literally, Paddy goes to me, are we finished? Is the broadcast over? Yeah. And I went, is he gone? And Paddy just goes, okay. And we just...
I did get into bed. I wasn't expecting it to break till the morning. I did go and brush my teeth, and now I have to brush it again because I've had another beer. But I think I deserve another beer after sitting through the last 11 months of that. So look, onwards and upwards. Let the comments flow there, Neil. I'll leave that up to you.
Absolutely, I will indeed. And we'll take it. Oh, Jesus. Thank you so much, everybody. Sam Bentley, really, really appreciate it. And Sam says he appreciates all the graft this evening, guys. More graft than we saw in the pitch earlier. Well, I'd like to say that, yeah, I do. I agree with you too. There was more graft tonight than we saw in the pitch earlier. Just going to get to a couple more there as well. C Line Eye, thank you so much. A deep sense of relief. We can now look forward without the cloud hangovers. I wish him well for the future. And I do too. I don't hate anybody. I don't hold resentment towards many people, but I wish Steven Gerrard the best. If Steven Gerrard was to go and manage a League One team, or Steven Gerrard takes Tranmere Rovers to the Champions League over the next 10 years, fair play to him. I've no problem with that. I've no problem. I just think we were the wrong club at the wrong time, and I think that he knew it early out. And and we've just gotten ourselves into this situation that we've gotten ourselves into. But the big question is, who's next for the hot seat? Who's next for the hot seat? Also, Standing on the Word, thank you so much. We had to get him out for the good of Aston Villa. I agree. I absolutely agree. I was just saying to Paddy beforehand that, and this will tell you, and I'm going to go on a bit of a monologue, and Jesus, I know you're going to be saying what's new, but I was saying to Paddy, I was there was during today I was rehearsing for my acting gig, and I couldn't get this game tonight out of my head. All that was going through my head was this game. And I couldn't, and I had an absolute stinker. I couldn't, if you'd asked me my name, I couldn't remember it. Never mind my lines for this gig I'm doing. And, when you see the performance that we had there tonight, and we see a 3-0 loss, and yes, there were some silly things the players did. There absolutely was. But as I've said before, we're now in a situation whereby a coach needs to come in and coach these players up. We cannot continue to spend money and leak money. So the club better go in, spend big money on a proven manager. And that's where the next focus comes now. And I said beforehand, I went down in my rant in my post-match, I said, I don't want to hear a thing about Purslow. I went on a big one about that. Now the spotlight can shift. Can shift. I'm not a Purslow out guy. I'm not a Purslow out guy. But because I think that, look, a CEO has a lot to do. Maybe we bring in somebody to when this is all said and done, maybe he doesn't make this decision on this player, but maybe we bring in somebody to be more of a footballing CEO and a brand CEO or whatever, because Purslow is damn good at that stuff with regards to the money side of things and the infrastructural side of things. I can't fault him in what he's done from what I've seen from there, but I'm not a Purslow out guy. But now, as I say, the spotlight shifts, and we will do an awful lot more talking about the brain trust right now. But thank you so much, Standing on the Word. We have a load of comments here. We have a bazillion of them, I think, at a quick estimate. Jake Aston Villa says, "I think it's a bad decision. He was doing so well for us. I can feel the sarcasm from this side of the
well,
screen.
maybe he's a blue nose. Maybe he's just made up that moniker.
No, he isn't. He isn't. He's been here before. Jake has been here before. Decisive action was needed, and so it was taken. We move absolutely line eye once again. Matt Hayes asks, "Am I the guy for?" Well, Matt, yeah. You know all the right things to say, don't you, Matt? Matt, by the way, any chance you give us Conte? Any chance Spurs want to give us Antonio Conte? No?
You may recall, Neil, that's who I wanted before we got Mr. Gerrard.
And you may recall I laughed in your face heartily. I won't be laughing at any suggestion now, because I think that Aston Villa should just go and try and sell whatever they can to anybody. And some people will believe that the club will find it difficult to appoint a top manager. History will tell us we always find it difficult to appoint top managers, but I think that there has to be something new done. I would not have told you we would have signed Philippe Coutinho 12 months ago, or less than 10 months ago, or whatever. So listen, let's hope for that we kiss a frog and it turns into a prince pretty soon. In that one. Yeah, Jason says, "And you thought you were going to get an early night." I'm off work tomorrow, so I wasn't getting an early night either way. I was going to stay up and be looking at the ceiling for ages. Owen Laddie says, "Oh, sweet baby Jesus, no time to make the correct appointment and not another vanity project." I agree with that. Neil Callahan says, "We're lightning fast, boys. I just hadn't got up off the seat." And look, I'm going to be really honest, okay? I'll give you a little bit of an insight into it. I kind of had the and it sounds bad, and I don't mean anything bad by this, but I think when the writing was on the wall after the weekend, I kind of had this one kind of lined up, ready to go at the drop of a hat, because as I say, I didn't really expect him to last this week. I didn't expect us to get 2 results out of both these games, but I certainly didn't expect us to lose 3-0 to Fulham, because as you guys know, I'm always glass fully full, never mind half full. Whenever I talk about
while you were uploading all of the podcasts to every different network, you were told that he was gone. But I did leave the room and say he's gone. I wasn't expecting to hear anything more until the morning, but here we are. So happy days.
Happy days is right. Shane Coleman, thank you so much. Really, really, really appreciate that. And thank you so much for that. And also Scotty UK, once again, get a drink. I absolutely have. And as I say, I've got a fridge over here, guys. I might show it to you someday. As you guys know, I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. I'm a huge Cleveland Browns fan. For my sins, yes, I know I can't pick my nose, never mind pick a team. And I painted the door of the fridge in the Cleveland Browns colors. But you know what? On a night like tonight, I'm looking at it and I'm going, that deserves to have a yellow line in it, and or the new crest, whatever the new crest is whenever it's announced. I think I'm going to paint it on the fridge now, just to give it more of an Aston Villa feel. So I don't know where that came from, and I don't know that anybody want to hear it, but you've heard it, and I've said it, so I can't take it back now. Richard Knowles, thank you so much. Really appreciate it, man. You're an absolute legend. I really, really appreciate that. More comments. Christopher Gonzalez says, "Pros of our away fans all the way from Charlotte, North Carolina. It felt like they were standing up for me." Were there fans there from Charlotte, North Carolina tonight? Oh, sorry, no, you're in Charlotte, North Carolina. Sorry, it's late. I didn't see the punctuation. Proud of our away fans all the way from Charlotte, North Carolina. I thought that's what it said. I didn't see the punctuation. Where else are we? Danielle
says, "Paddy must be happy now. Do I not look happy?"
Yeah. Look,
the only problem is now I'm going to have trouble finding sleep and thinking about who we're going to replace him with. An ad says Villa Park be rocking on Sunday, so my mood has completely changed to didn't want to go on Sunday. I actually, before I went to bed, put my head in to my son who's playing FIFA inside and said, "Still want to go on Sunday?" And he went, "Yeah." All right, okay. I said, "I just got a text to say he's gone. Still want to go Sunday." So all good. He's never going to turn down a trip. Never going to turn.
As I said to you, Paddy, why would he? The Villa shop is right beside the stadium, and I know you can't go in there without him coming out with something new. So if I've asked, that's why I've asked you to adopt me a million times. I've asked you to adopt me, you know that. Yeah. So where else are we? I don't. Sorry, it's so. I'm trying to check the clock and trying to remember what time we actually started this time. Yes, Paddy, if you see anything there, just flick it up there because I don't know where I am.
Ian Taylor and Yedden have to take charge on Sunday. I reckon that'll be a bit of fun. I'll give. Even though I retired last weekend, I'll step forward and give him a hand. No problem.
Yeah.
I'll give the little piece of paper to the fellow with the fourth official sport to hand up.
They get paid good money, Paddy. They get paid good money. Don't denigrate them at all.
Yeah. And look, forever, John Steele is always on the money. Please don't ruin this by appointing another bluffer. Another bluffer to me is a Benitez. That's what I don't want. I want the progressive manager, a young, vibrant manager that's going to speak up against everything that's been put up against Aston Villa, be it with the referees, with the what's up happening there? Did you lose me?
No. I thought you were after getting another one of your famous text messages, Paddy. Don't do that when we're on a live stream. There's a couple of people. Wait a minute. Is it real? Yes. Sorry. There's a couple of people that are asking, is it real that he's actually gone? Just for posterity's sake, because we're pontificating here. Club statement is here. So club statement: Aston Villa Football Club confirm that head coach Steven Gerrard has left the club with immediate effect. The club spokesman said, "We would like to thank Steven for his hard work and commitment to wish him all the best in his future for the future." That was 20 minutes ago. It's on the proper club site now. All barring an absolutely hilarious hack of the club website. I think we can confirm that he's gone. It's on Sky Sports News as well, and
Sky Sports, it's everywhere. Yeah.
Just if see Stato, man never sleeps. He just plugs himself into the matrix and gets all those numbers into his mind. But Steven Gerrard has managed 38 Premier League games for Aston Villa. Only Gerrard Houllier 32 and Tim Sherwood 23 and Remy Garden 21 have managed less in the competition for the club. That's an interesting one. But as I say, I think 38 it's a full season.
Has he been any better than the rest of them?
I don't think he has, and I think that's what I was going to say. I think that there's a connection to be made. And I also think that the Canham after pouring has gone off, but that's another story because this tastes rotten. Whatever. Let me check this. No, not gone off till 2023. I don't know. But also, this isn't one. Look, let us indulge in fantasy for a minute, guys, because what else will we be doing? Can we get Diego Simeone, please? He's been talked about that he's going to walk from Atletico for ages, but there's no way I could see him not managing in Italy.
Neil, I'd love this. I reckon this will be absolute pantomime stuff. But look, he's one of a long list that I would gladly accept. But I love a passionate guy like Diego Simeone. I would watch Manager Cam all day while he's managing. He's just incredible.
I worked with a guy called Mike Tracy, and he looked exactly like Diego Simeone. So much so that we've put pictures up of Simeone beside him, and you could not tell the difference. Little
known fact about me, but when I was doing my UEFA badges, I used to buy a ticket in the lower Trinity in the days where you could pick where you could sit. But do you know those? Do you know when you're looking at the dugouts, there's always a few empty seats either side of it.
Yeah,
they're kind of reserved for the men that nearly played or the doctors or whatever. I used to go and sit beside the away dugout. That's what I used to do back in the early noughties to mid noughties when I was doing my coaching badges, and I just used to watch whatever the away manager, and I sat and watched Mourinho and Redknapp and anybody else, whoever came, Benitez, Houllier, everybody. And it's an incredible thing to look at what a manager is doing during the match, and obviously trying to support Aston Villa at the same time was a bit strange. But but I love doing it, and it was kind of a part of what I did in my coaching. But and I don't know why I'm going off on this tangent. But
Just let it out, Paddy. Let it out.
Anyway, so Neil, he's gone. Are you happy?
No, wait a minute. Where was that story going? Did you just stop the story?
That's what I said. I don't know why I went off on that. Somebody,
what about, you were talking about
Simeone. We're talking about Simeone.
Manager Cam.
Yeah, and I manager Cam, and I was just explaining that I love to watch what a manager does in game. I think it's incredible. But since Michael Beale is gone, the only person we see now is Austin McPhee come out and talk. God knows what he says. God knows what he says. But at least he does actually come out and give his tuppence worth. Like Gary Mack and Ian Critchley, is that his name? You hear so little about him. Neil Critchley. Yeah. They just sit there. I don't know what they do. They don't get involved in the everyday running or the match running of it. You very rarely see him liaise with them about a decision that's going to be made. So look, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a really strange situation now going into Sunday. I would find it very hard to pick who's going to do the temporary management on Sunday. Obviously, it would be great if Pochettino's in there, but even at that, you very rarely see a new manager sit in the dugout for the first game either.
No, that is true. That is true. Look, we're not exactly going to turn into the 1970s Brazil between now and Sunday, and that is to be understood too. We may not have a manager in by Sunday.
More than likely not, I'd say.
I know I've been talking about winning the news cycle and stuff like this, and but it feels that tonight that they sacked him on their terms. But then again, the rumors are that people were furious about the performance tonight, and if it was an act of passion, and somebody got sacked in an act of passion, but look, we'll know. Do you know what? The great thing about it being Thursday and a match on Sunday is we've only Friday and Saturday to wait, to see if there's any. So I would imagine by the time the newspapers hit the stores tomorrow, the Sky Sports News, the wonderful Sky Sports News, I must say, after today. I imagine by 12 noon tomorrow that we hear something, or we start hearing names, or start hearing at least spurious links, or maybe even concrete links. Maybe we wake up tomorrow morning to club statement: Aston Villa have hired Gareth Southgate to be their new manager.
No, thank you.
But you know what? Would that turn people's hearts crossways? Would England fans, would Aston Villa fans who follow England, would they feel happy that he's no longer England manager, but sad that he's? Is that like the whole kissing your sister thing? Is that what it is? I don't know. We're getting giddy now.
Another name that hasn't been mentioned is Brendan Rodgers.
Sorry. Yes. I meant to mention him. Yeah. I wouldn't be averse to him.
Neither would I. I like people that play football the right way and have a structure about how they play, and to a lesser extent a plan B. All modern day managers now, if you look at Pep Guardiola doesn't change in mid game what he's doing. He believes in the process. He believes in the players he has. I think Rodgers does the same thing, only he wasn't backed with players and they sold his assets around him. So I would take him absolutely in a heartbeat. God knows what the next couple of days are going to bring. But Pochettino is the favourite with all bookies at the moment. We've just got to be there. Philip Drew has the
judicious.
There he is. So we've got 7-4 on Pochettino, 5-1 Unai Emery.
Michael Beale.
Hang on, is that Poch and Emery are 7-4?
Poch 7-4, Emery 5-1, Thomas Frank and Thomas Tuchel are 10-1 each, Michael Beale 13-2, and Dyche 12-1. Look at Paddy pretending like he's never been in a bookies before. Get over it. Give over, Paddy. Give over. You were named Paddy after Paddy Power, sure. Lads, I'll tell you, do you know what? Someone who wasn't on this list, and Paddy will know, I spoke about this guy as being the manager before Gerrard came in. And this was actually my out of left field top choice to come in. And he was only now he's garnered a lot of success. And Connell, absolutely a man after my own heart, says Ruben Amorim. I know that everybody's going to say, who the fuck is Ruben Amorim? Ruben Amorim is he's like a record-breaking coach with Sporting Lisbon at this moment in time. Yes, he's not managed in the Premier League, but you know, I think that there's, as I've said before, there's many ways to skin a cat in the managerial world. This guy can manage teams. He can manage teams. He's a tactical, like genuinely, he's an actual tactical genius. You can say it's in Portugal all you want and all that, but he's done it in European competition. I'm not saying we've any hope in the world or that he's going to be the man on their lips at all. I think the club go with a tried and tested entity, but it's interesting to see you guys, to hear other people talking about Ruben Amorim, because I do think he's going to be a good coach, and I do think he probably leaves at the end of the season and he gets a plum gig somewhere. I would imagine.
I think if there's a gamble to be made, this is the gamble.
Oh no, we made a gamble already, Paddy.
No,
I know you said you're named after Paddy Power, but we don't need any gambles.
No, but I think the names that we've named are all coaches that we believe will do a job. But I think he would be a gamble, and probably a worthwhile gamble. I wouldn't say no to him either. He's done a fantastic job there.
Ronan Farrell, lads, keep these coming because I don't have Twitter open here at the moment. I closed it there because it was just, there's so much going on. I have my Twitter feed selected just to show Aston Villa stuff, and there's so much going on that it's actually telling me that I can't load tweets right now. So if you guys see anything from Tom or from any of the guys there, any of the reporters, please pop it in here. We'd love to hear it. But Tom Conamase is reporting that Villa owners will pay big money to get an elite coach. Put it this way, and I think this is fair to say, and I'm not giving up on the likes of Leon Bailey, but if Leon Bailey is cost 30 million and they're okay with 30 million, you know, they have to be okay with spending big money on, like, if you get Pochettino in 10 million a year for 3 years, there's your Leon Bailey. And I think Leon Bailey can come good if we play a system that actually plays wingers. But, you know, as I say, Scott Taggart, Gattuso would be fun. I don't think Paddy would be sitting in that seat beside the dugout if Gattuso was there. He could get a box off him. I think I used to love Gattuso. I used to when I used to play in the school playground, like when I was in 16, 17 or whatever.
What?
16, 17, we had this class soccer court, right? It was a tarmac soccer court. And we were 16, 17. And the school we were in was really, really rural. You could go nowhere, so you had to stay in the school. So we all go up there playing football. And Gattuso was playing with Milan at the time. And I had a little schmig. I had a bit of facial hair. So I used to pretend I was Gattuso and boot fellas up in the air. And it was great crack. It was great crack for me anyway. Maybe not for the people who were getting booted up into the air, but it was great fun for me. See, you learn so much about us in this podcast, more than you get in other podcasts.
Wouldn't be a choice for me, but we'll go back to that again.
For me, no. Richard Noah says Gerrard reminds me of George Weah's cousin sounding for Southampton. I wouldn't go that far now myself. I wouldn't go that far, but that's. But
look, seeing as Richard mentioned Mr. Sourness, I think it's important to remember that the circus has left the building. The Steven Gerrard circus has left the building, and it's like a weight off my shoulders. It really is a weight off my shoulders. I'm happy with the decision tonight. I'm not happy with us being absolutely fucking hammered by Wolves, by Fulham. But every cloud is a silver lining. We're now on the 20th of October. We've got plenty of time. We get a guy in who's going to get 1, 2, 3, 5 games, I think. 2 games against Man United. Hopefully in by Brentford, Newcastle, and then Brighton. And then he will know at the end of that time exactly what he's got to do after Christmas. And 2 free hits. I think it's Chelsea and Liverpool just after Christmas, isn't it? Between Christmas and New Year.
Sorry, I wasn't listening to you. I was too busy to text. There was someone there texting me trying to slap. I had just seen the text and it was like, "Oh, I hope they don't get rid of Gerrard, poor creator." Like they were trying to play up that it wasn't his fault. So I just seen it there and I thought it was the right time to respond.
Yeah.
But we've got a couple of games then between. So like it's probably the perfect time. It's like, wow, we've got 600 people watching. Thanks very much, guys.
It absolutely is the perfect time.
It's the perfect time to get rid of him now. Well, I think prior to Chelsea was probably the right time. But look, we won't split hairs over that. It's only 7 days, less than 7 days. And I don't think you can lose your Premier League status within 7 days like that, specifically in October. But talking about Thomas Farrell, Paddy, I know you'd be kind of conflicted with this one. Thomas Farrell says bring in Big Ange from Celtic. I'll be honest, we had conversations off air on Ange Postecoglou. Yes, I did just want to say his surname. We had conversations when he was.
Hang on a minute. You refused to say Tim Irigbounam on Sky Sports today.
Well, there's a reason, because I didn't want to make it.
You went with Ange Postecoglou today.
Postecoglou rolls off the tongue.
You deserve a kick in the arse for that now, for doing that. Poor Tim, our player.
I was sent a screenshot, and the caption of the screenshot was the very moment he realized he couldn't pronounce Tim Irigbounam's surname.
And I wouldn't mind. At the end of last season, I actually stood in front of Tim Irigbounam and asked him how to pronounce his name just for you. And then you went live to the nation, and then you didn't say it. You called him Young Tim. Disgraceful.
Yeah, well, it was.
Anyway.
You know what? No, Paddy, that was an in-joke for Villa fans. That's what that was. I was doing it on purpose. I was hanging a little Easter egg out there for real Villa fans. It's only something that they were going. And you know what?
Before we talk about Ange Postecoglou, the adult dating site bots are in. You need to delete
it, lads. Fill your boots tonight. If you can't do it tonight, you can't do it any night.
No, but I tell you, it's a big shout taking Big Ange from Celtic. Ange Postecoglou is an incredible coach. He's got incredible results out of a team who were underperforming, but not yet. We're not making that Gerrard mistake again. Not for me. Me, that's a big Celtic fan. It's not that I don't want to take him away from Celtic. He's not ready yet. Maybe one day we will. There's a lot of people going to kick my arse in the morning for saying that derogatory thing about him. But look, he's going to be an incredible coach in years to come. He gets the best out of some ordinary players. So, I
think that's fair to say.
Somebody there looking to come in. What do you reckon, Neil? Can you get him in there?
I absolutely can get Mr. Dolan on. Mr. Dolan was at the game tonight. I will invite Mr. Dolan on there. You fill there. Mr. Dolan did me a solid as well, and I must thank him for that. Very much so. Where is he? Paddy, you can't leave the dead air, and no one wants to.
I know. I'm trying to find somebody who's talking sense, but everybody's just
I've seen Donald Trump in there. Is Donald Trump the manager?
They're talking about Bielsa and Tuchel and Poch and
Where is he? Chris Dolan, the link is gone to you there via WhatsApp.
There you go.
The link is gone to you there, Mr. Dolan.
I hope he's not in the tube or something on the way back.
No.
Actually, that might be some crack.
I'd say Dolan's Guinness's taste way better than my absolute pukey can of Guinness that I've just had. Lads, that was one of the worst drinks I've ever drank in my life. I don't know what they had. Wonder was my fridge turned off for a period of time or something. I don't know.
Neil, anyway. I can assure you this is one of the nicest drinks I've had in a long time.
I'm contemplating drinking the cold coffee as opposed to the rest of what's in my. Anyway, guys, actually, I was starring a couple of ones there. Paddy, Steve Staunton. You take it.
Okay. How do we hide the comment? We're not going to fall out with anybody.
No, we're not going to fall out with anyone.
I
Chris Dolan
think your friend is on the tube. He is on the tube.
You called it. How's Chris?
All right, lads, what's happening? Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, everyone hear me? Yeah.
We can indeed. We can
I'm sitting in Charing Cross Station here, so I've just left Sir Bardell in Fulham signing autographs. So
Bardell signing autographs. That's the job.
Yeah. So
was he charging a $5 for autographs?
A €5 pick. So, or $5, depending on where you're watching from, you know. But
that's normally what Roy Keane does.
Lads, tonight was the worst we have ever seen. It was horrific. It was really, really bad. You know, I mean, my voice is actually quite hoarse because of all the booing that was going on.
Go away.
Honestly, man, it was shocking. You know, if you thought Forest was bad away, there was probably what I would say 10% of that away crowd were giving it the Gerrard out. Tonight was all in, mate. Really? As Gerrard says, the crowd were all in. It was woeful. It was woeful. There was no again. There was nothing. We didn't have a chance. I can't recall us having a chance on target. Do we even have a shot? Did we have a shot or did we have anything? No.
We had a couple. I think we had 5 or 6 shots on target.
Maybe I was in the concourse having a pint of Guinness in a plastic cup. But all was woeful, lads. But yeah, even tonight sort of summed it up. And as he walked off the pitch, as he sort of trudged off the pitch tonight, you could, there was no eye contact. There was nothing, not a thing. There was nothing, and I'm quite surprised it was done so quickly, but it is what it is, And Dan obviously gets, Dan's a very positive guy, but he was, and everybody had enough. It was just a disaster.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And obviously you've heard the news, Chris. You know he's gone, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, well, sorry. Wait a minute. The podcast title is Gerrard.
It would have been fun if he didn't.
Has he gone? Yeah. Has he gone?
Oh, yeah. Breaking news.
Okay, that's top important. You've been hanging out with the Sky Sports News crew all day. You're on point today.
And thank you for that.
Oh, mate, my pleasure, mate. There's only one man I could think of to fill in, and it was the Dunworth, So
thank you so much. I do appreciate it.
But yeah, so what's the vibe then, boys? What are you saying?
Well, I suppose what we're doing here is we're trying to look. I suppose realistically, it's fair to the man to be respectful in a way that we don't just dance on him when he's gone, But I think it's important, and everyone has been really cool and nice in the comments. It's important to kind of say that look, he just wasn't up to muster.
Is it wrong if I have a Heineken?
You can, of course.
We're all drinking away. That's absolutely fine.
We're not sponsored by anybody, Chris. You're okay.
Yes.
Is that Rockshore? Mate, Rockshore's good gear, man. Really good gear.
Rockshore is good.
I'm on a train. I'm currently pulling into Waterloo East, so ignore the train sounds. Well, it's live and direct.
This is
from the capital. This is
exactly.
This is frontline reporting. This is boys, man.
Exactly. Does this count as a fan count? I think this does. I think it counts as a fan count.
He knows, but yeah. So what are your thoughts, boys? What are you saying?
Well, I suppose really the mind kind of turns now. I was saying in the post match that listen, like a lot of people in the post match were saying Gerrard out, Purslow out, and I was saying okay, let's pause on the Purslow thing for the moment. I personally don't want Christian Purslow out, but I was saying that let's see what happens. And then obviously the news broke afterwards, and I think now the spotlight does fall on the likes of Purslow and Lange and the brain trust, I suppose is what we call them. The spotlight falls on them, and they need to get this right. They really need to win this news cycle. And I've said it before that this has to be a good appointment. You cannot get stopgap here, and you cannot go down the route of Wolves. Spend the money, get the man in, whoever you want, live and die by it.
Nearly so, obviously, we all want Poch. We want Poch, we want Tuchel. If that doesn't happen, he comes in. Like, he'll get in.
Well, we've thrown out some names there, all right, but we've gone as far as the likes of Ange Villas-Boas. I think that's probably the most off the wall kind of piece that we've come at so far. I used to have a joke saying that when Ange Villas-Boas took over Aston Villa, that someone should have asked him, well, who's your favourite team to follow in the Premier League? And he would say, Villa, I suppose. And it would be absolutely hilarious. But look, that's just me and my super bunny.
I mean, I think for me, obviously, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but you look at the way we behaved after Bournemouth and Palace, and
yes,
Potter was sitting there. Potter was there, at Brighton. And for me, it was Potter was like Dean Smith 2.0 with the connection and that local tie of growing up in the area and having a family full of Villa fans. He was there, but I was on the tube on the way back, and there was a couple of Villa fans there opposite me, and I was like, guys, he's gone, and they were like, oh my god, and you're sort of sitting there on the tube, and and you're talking to Villa fans about Gerrard being sacked, and again, I was saying, so who do you bring in? Because I personally can't see Pochettino coming in. I can't see it. I think it's too far-fetched personally. So,
What's far-fetched about it though, Chris? He took on the Southampton job. He's well able to come in at that end of the table.
He took Southampton when he wasn't really a big name. He wasn't really. He was the unknown. I mean, people were up in arms when Atkins got sacked. So they start Nigel Atkins for Postecoglou, and they're going, well, who's he? Who is he? There was no. It wasn't like he obviously went in there and he became a world class coach. But I felt he became a world class coach at Tottenham, and what he did at Southampton was very, very impressive. But it wasn't like he went into Southampton as a top coach. But again, I always say to my mates and whoever else, if Everton can get in Ancelotti, why can't we get in a Postecoglou or an Emery?
What's your opinion on Unai Emery? Would that be one that you'd be happy enough to go for?
Yeah, of course, mate. Yeah, of course. He's proven. He's proven. I think he did a good job at Arsenal. He's proven in Europe. He's won big trophies. He's managed big players. And he worked for big clubs, and he's a tactician. And I think with Gerrard, Gerrard was. Gerrard's lack of tactics and is now let him down, I think with Emery, he has that knowledge of tactics. He understands where we want to go as a club. But if I'm Suarez Leavens, I'm calling him Poch, and I'm going, well, what do you want? Do you want him in the year? Do you want you have it? Do you want the key to the club? I'll give it. What do you want? Because I think right now, you look back at where we've come from over the last 5 years, and we're kind of 4 years into this 5-year plan, and we're no better off than we were. And we're looking at relegation in the face. So for me, you've got to go big. You've got to go all out.
Chris, we've spoken before about Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah.
Would you have Brendan Rodgers? I know that we've spoken about it previously, and things aren't going right for him at the moment. But would you think that would appease fans?
100%, mate. I think he's a top manager. I think with Rodgers, he has a cycle. He has like a 3 to 5 year cycle. But I think at Leicester, I think if he had a board that had the money and was able to back him, then it may be a different story. But I think with him at the minute, he's got no backing, and I think the board of tightened the purse strings. But for me, Rodgers, absolute top manager. But you sort of you delve into the championship and you sort of think, well, who's kicker in the championship? There's no one really standing out apart from Michael Beale. John Dal Thompson at Blackburn's doing a good job. Company's doing a good job. Heckenbottom's doing a good job. But you're looking at that and going, well, who's that world class manager. And I think it's time that we, as a club, we start to behave like a big club that we think we are. As I've always said, if Everton get Ancelotti, then Villa can get in. Listen, boys, I'm going to jump off here.
I think the lads are struggling to hear you there a little bit.
Yeah. I'm on the train here, and there's a lot of people, so I'm gonna love you and leave this. Yeah.
Are you on the last one? Is that the last train back to where you're heading to?
No, there's probably I'm on the way to Greenwich, so I'm kind of Greenwich bound, so I'm not far off.
I just remember getting on that last tube in London every time I'm in London, and I'm like this.
Yeah.
And you're staying in the whole place, which is great.
There's always a can involved, mate. Always a can involved. So
you're just making sure you're not spilling your beer, is that it?
Yeah. And then get a badge in.
Yeah, we got to get the badge in. Excellent, Chris. Listen, thanks a million for jumping on. Really appreciate it. And I'm sure we'll be chatting to you in the Villa View again soon. Enjoy the rest of your night, and up to Villa.
Ciao.
Excellent. There we go. Chris Dolan just drops in out of nowhere. Guys, I'm reading here Villa reporter saying that Sam Wallace from the Telegraph are saying that Thomas Frank is an option, who Aston Villa's owners admire. Look, I know we've mentioned him. I'm just saying that's what Villa Report has said here as well. And I'm going to reiterate this once more. I'm going to reiterate it. I am not going to get fixated on one manager. I am not. I'm not going to fixate it on if it isn't Poch, well, then they can all go take a shite. I think it's reductive. I think it's just not the way that I'm going to take this managerial search on board. But then again, as I say, you guys do what you want to do. I don't really care. Do what you want to do. Just tune in for my musings. That's kind of the way I see it. There was some absolutely unbelievably brilliant names that people were talking about as manager. Sven. We had Sven. God be with the days when Sven-Goran Eriksson was a viable manager. Simon Grayson, Big Sam, Trapattoni. I saw Stephen Kenny there. We've had Steve Bruce as a but this is the one I was getting back at. See, that was a great way of filling until I found Roberto Mancini, Paddy. And look, I know this is wild and off the wall, and this is pie in the sky, absolutely stupid talk, I think, at this moment in time. What I'm saying is, let's say it did come. Would it be good?
I'd take him. Absolutely, I'd take him.
I think you'd have
there's a list of 7, 8, 9 people there. Some of them will have to be poached. Some of them will just be free agents. Like Mancini's a winner. He's a winner on the pitch, a winner off the pitch. Why not? I think there's an embarrassment of riches there at the moment that we could potentially go and pick the right person to drive us on. I think this sacking or walking away has probably come at a really good time. And, let's look at this in a week's time, because we're going to have to act quickly, because the World Cup is only around the corner and there's going to be a whole load of free agents after the World Cup that are going to leave positions, or people who are going to do mad stuff in the World Cup, and people are going to think that they're the best coaches and best managers ever. So let's get this business done and get it done early and get the right man in. And if that man is Mancini, happy days. I'm okay with that one.
That's just I love the people who watch this podcast, because there's some brilliant names: Wayne Rooney, Ted Lasso, Nigel Clough, Fergie, Ian Taylor, Neil Empty, Di Canio, Gabby Agbonlahor, Solskjaer, Frank de Boer, Arteta, Gio Van Bronckhorst, Ron Atkinson, Goga Klopp, Mark Draper, Ivo Staz. Yeah, I'm loving the names. And look, guys, enjoy a little bit of speculation over the next few days. Don't poo-poo anyone. Like, one of the biggest things I find is, look, sometimes stuff might be absolutely off the wall, and it's fine, but it's worth talking about. You might be right and you might be wrong. I'm certainly Arsene Wenger, you say? Arsene Wenger, you say? I don't know, would that, like, we just talked about a circus. You used the word circus. I didn't.
I don't think Arsene Wenger brings the same circus as what we've just had for the last 11 months. It's completely different. Look, I'm just giving the other options. That's one you missed. That's why I put up on the screen.
Here's the one. Here's who I'd be bringing in, and it might be someone we might need. Harry Houdini. Come on down. Oh, by the way, guys, anybody who watched me on Sky Sports today, Mr. Blobby, get on it. A $5 on it. Check to see what his odds are. I have it on good authority. I wouldn't have gone on Sky Sports News and said it otherwise. Mr. Blobby to be next. They said they were going to give me his number and I'd get the first interview if he was made manager. So fingers crossed. Guys, thanks very much. I think we're going to leave it at that. It's 20 to 12. I'll probably be back. We'll be back on tomorrow to dissect any of the new information that we have as it breaks. And look, as I say, we're now in a time of transition from one team manager to the next. I don't think this group of players needs to be a group of players that's in transition. I think you can add to this group of players because I firmly believe that they're a good group of players, and let's see what comes from it. But we've had at times, guys, at any given time on this podcast or over the course since we've started it, we've had nearly 3,000 people jump into this podcast, which is absolutely mind-blowing. I absolutely love every single one of you. You're the best company I could have on a Thursday night, and so is Paddy. Just so that he doesn't take the huff. But lads, and Chris as well, But thanks so much, everybody. We really appreciate it here. But if you give us a thumbs up, if you aren't subscribed before, please subscribe right now. I think we might be the only podcast live doing a live Gerrard's break, and we had to have been the first podcast to do a Gerrard is sacked podcast. We just had to have been. If anyone beat us, then I just say, fair play to you. You deserve it. You deserve all the plaudits. But if anybody isn't subscribed to the podcast, we'd absolutely really like it. It costs you nothing. Just subscribe, hit the bell. We will be going live quite a bit, I would imagine, over the next few days. And I might have to break my not going live on Saturday rule if news does come down. But thank you so much, everybody. Thumbs up on this video. Really appreciate it. We're going to go to bed. I suggest you do the same. Thanks so much for your company tonight. It really takes the edge off a 3-0 loss to Fulham. But stay safe, stay healthy, and above all, up the Villa.
Up our Villa.